Your miserable lives. I've been falling behind on the reading, so I figured I should probably punish myself. Just a little bit. Just a tad. I can't have any more energy drinks tonight for fear of having a heart attack, but I can certainly read to you. Are you ready to have lived life? Let me make my little guy bigger. There we go. Yes, yeah, no, my heart feels like it's gonna explode, but, I bet I can get through 10,000 words tonight. Um, I'll leave this. Anyway, smoothrock told me to do this. I'm gonna let some people file in really quick. I'm gonna miss another Humo stream, but you know what? Fuck it, whatever. I've been missing those every day, every time he does anything. I'll just have to go back and watch it later. I mean, you get how it is. You get busy with these your little guy activities. Anyway, yeah. Is this where the jerky turkey's from? Is this that? That's probably a question I should have asked. Anyway. I miss you, dweeb. No. Fine, no. She takes another step towards the hole in the fence up on the ledge. My heart is tearing itself in half. Don't leave me alone! One leg refuses to move for me, and the dead weight drags me down. She turns back, looking at me with those gorgeous amber gemstones. They glisten with wetness, and indescribable pain lying beneath them. Tears mix with mascara and flow down her face in dark streaks. A tiny crooked smile tugs at the far corners of her mouth. The love of my life jumps. A guttural scream rips out of me, but my ears can't hear nothing. I don't even realize when the cops arrive. All I feel is, suddenly, their hands holding on to me, and someone in an officer uniform is asking me questions. The ragged hole that is my throat courses with pain, ripped raw from the despondent howls of denial. Some sort of emotion happens around me, and I can feel something tight wrapped around my leg. Then, with another twist, the noose around my thigh is brought to an unbearable tension, causing me to scream out in pain. Muffled words of reassurance fail to comfort me. The lances of pain slowly subside to a constant but bearable sting, allowing me to focus on what's going on. Gunshot victim. Male. Human. An officer over me leans onto his shoulder radio while continuing to put pressure on my leg. It takes every bit of me not to pass out from the agony as I begin to feel a strain of my blood trying desperately to force itself into my wounded limb. Terrific line. Time mark. Descending immediately. Preparing medical evaluation. The pachycephalosaurus above me turns to focus on me, his voice shifting from hard to consolatory. Hey kid, we're gonna move you now. Stay with us now, yeah? You're gonna make it. Fang, I groan. Fang, need to get Fang. The officer looks up to someone behind me. I hear a scuffle of shoes. Silence. What does Fang look like? Do you know where they are? What? Taro. I start panting heavily. Jumped. The officer stiffens. Shit. He whispers, Kid, we're gonna take you downstairs now. It's gonna hurt like hell, but we're getting you out of here. You understand me? I nod, too scared to talk. Everything hurts so much, and I feel a cold sweat beading on my head because of it. All right, Jones. His voice is authority. We're going down. Grab his legs. Two pairs of hands wrap around me, one under each armpit and my legs cinched together. As I'm lifted off the ground, consciousness quickly fades. Minutes have passed because the next thing I see is... fuck. The hallway. Oh God, Naomi is... No. Oh God. Steady on, kid. Don't look at it. Just focus on us. Listen to my voice. I whimper, screwing my eyes shut as tight as possible and listening as he repeats meaningless words to me. The fetid stench of iron hits my nostrils as we go on. Fuck, it's so strong. All that screaming from before, it drowned out everything in my head. And now it's all just so empty here. It doesn't make sense. It's all... Fang, what the hell have you done? Once we get outside, the din of it all washes over me. Sirens, people screaming, crying, comforting each other. The media en masse swarm like locusts. An ambulance is nearby, thankfully, and I feel myself lowered onto a prepared stretcher. Pain races along my sides from my leg as I get placed down. Fuck. What felt like being hit by a hammer point blank feels now like burning acid down there. Jesus, I can't move anything. The inability to move my own limbs terrifies me more than seeing my own blood. The medic examines me with rapid motions. The officer near me, Santos by his name tag I can finally see, gives a concerned look while getting what details he can from me. I get a question about my blood type, but I have no fucking clue. I've never had to know that. Now I do, because I'm leaking a lot of it. From the way it feels. All of it. And there was so much blood back there. Rivers of blood. Pumping rivers of blood, and the noxious miasma of iron. Blood and iron, blood and iron. My lips begin to salivate while my stomach lurches. Almost immediately after, I lean over the side of the stretcher and hurl my guts up. Easy there, son. The medic holds me back down while when I'm done heaving. Gonna set you up with a universal donor bag and get rolling to the hospital. You got someone we can call? No, I mutter. He looks over to someone else and then back at me, asking me questions I can't hear. A ringing that's been building in my ears starts to become deafening, and my heart begins to hammer. Blood. So much pain. My gaze weakly shifts back towards the schools. Paramedics are spreading a large white sheet over something on the front steps. Fang. God damn it! I just want to... In an instant, the world rushes out around me and goes black. Everything's so slow to come back. Ugh. Why am I... No, where am I? There's a blinding white light above me. Some busted LED lighting? Somewhere nearby, steady beeps ring out. I feel... The beeping rings out higher and faster now. The rings... There's wires all over me, needle connected to tubes stuck out of my arm. I'm tied down. Belts and loops around my arms and legs. I can't move. I'm trapped. Why the fuck... Where the hell am I? Where's Fang? Mr. Mouse. My head whips around to the voice. Who is that? Mr. Mouse, they say again. I turn to see a green-scaled parasaur wearing scrubs approaching me. You're in the hospital. You're not in danger. We're not going to hurt you. You're okay. Hospital? Yeah, you're in the hospital. Oh, fuck. Her voice is low and smooth. You're safe now, hon. You're gonna be okay. My chest is heaving. I didn't even notice how out of breath I felt, but I start to try and level out. Everything starts to slow down as my heartbeat stops flooding my ears like a drum. The machine next to me slows its rapid beeping as well. The nurse smiles at me. Good job, see? You're all fine now. Lifting my arm to feel my face, it tugs against something. So does the other. I'm restrained to the bed. Why am I tied up? Slipping slightly, she nods at me. You had an episode where you fought against the medical staff trying to help you. Everything is okay now, but we need you to keep you restrained for a little bit longer. What? I did what? How? I don't remember doing anything like that. When people panic, they react strongly to just about anything. Parasaur lips pull back, and I feel queasy on how similar it looks to a certain blonde member of the same race. One whose face had a hole blown through it. You had an outburst and needed to be sedated for your safety and ours. But us being able to communicate normally like this is very good progress. The doctors will come by to see you soon. I'll let them know you're up. I had to throw my phone out of my room here. But wait, I call out, but she's already on the floor. I throw my head back to the pillow. Nothing left to do. My legs feel numb. But that is for the best. I was shot by my girlfriend. Oh God, Fang, please, I need you so bad, sweet tooth. The sobs that leak out threaten to control me. No, I can't let that happen. I have to be in control. I cannot cry. I'm a goddamn man. I won't. Shut up and enjoy this, weeb. Fuck. That wasn't Fang. They were just tired. They weren't thinking straight. They needed me bad. That's all. Nothing went wrong. I had a good time. Mr. Mouse? I snap my eyes open and see an older dino, some gray-haired compy looking over me. His coat was slightly roughed up, and he seemed tired from his expression, but his attention was entirely focused on me. I am Dr. Krantz. He nods at me. How are you feeling, young man? Awake? I look down. Restrained. His lips twitch slightly. That'll happen when you try to rip an IV out of your arm and become combative with staph. Do you think you'll try that again? No, sir. I sigh. I don't remember doing that. I see. He murmurs, papers fly on a little clipboard in his hands. Well, understandable considering what you've went through. From what Muse mentioned and what I can see, you seem to be doing alright at the moment. What about Fang? He pauses. Fang, is that silver and white tarot and black clothes? They jumped. Only the slight way he breathes lets me know that he's still alive with how quiet he becomes. Lucy Aaron. The way he looked at me has me shrivel. It's cold and detached. She is a resident here as well. My heart finally lurches back into place. Oh, thank Christ! Fang is alive! They survived the fall. That's great, Fang, they went through so much. Relief causes a few tears to leak out. Are they okay? He's silent. The last time you saw them, they jumped? Yes, sir! I nod frantically after they shot me. Confusion crosses his face for a heartbeat before it goes neutral again. I see. His eyes cross the board for several long seconds. Did they do anything else to you? Enjoy this. My heart rate starts to spike. Doc notices and looks up sharply. Anon! They didn't mean to, I whisper. They were stressed. It was a shitty prom. Heart rate up. It's okay. Calm down. It's all good. We were distressed. She needed a release. I just had to sit. That's all. I wanted it. We both wanted it. Dr. Krantz instantly relaxes. Hey, I get it. You're okay. His posture comes down, so he's half crouching next to my bed. It's okay, but if I'm gonna help Fang, I'm gonna need you to help me out. Help me help you. Help you out? Yes, Mr. Mouse. His smile is soft and trustworthy. Would you mind telling me everything about what happened from last night to today? It'll help us with Fang. I nod slowly, settling back into bed. Why can't you just ask Fang? She's resting, he nods. She's deep asleep, and we don't want to wake her up. Good idea, Doc. I know that Fang is going to need a lot of help in the next few days. That the fact that she shot so many people, it's going to be horrible. Rest. We all need a rest. Okay. I recount everything I can for Dr. Krantz. We go over how Fang was treated at prom, degraded and humiliated by her classmates, the jeering, that fucking jeering! Fang wanted to stay with me, so I said yes, and we slept together. And at his incessant questioning, I had to tell the doctor that she got a bit enthusiastic and scratched me up. His gentle nods kept me going on. It hurt so much to admit how awful I was to her, turning away from her in our need to play goddamn video games. Doc kept himself free of judgment. It was good. Then the shooting. Christ, the school shooting! By the time I was done, I feel spent. My throat is bone dry and hurts. The voice coming out of me has been reduced to a near whisper. Though, through it all, Dr. Krantz is cool and calm. It helps. Once I finish, he nods and makes a series of notes on his clipboard. Thank you, Mr. Mouse. would you be okay if I left for a few moments to go outside and compare notes with some of the other medical team? Sure, Doc. I glance at the restraints on my chest. I don't think I'll be going anywhere. Pause for a second. When can I see Fang? After a few tests I have to run. I'll be right back. Green scales flash in the dim light. The Eurodiet compy leaves me. I feel exhausted at this point. Pain is starting to crawl its way up my leg with inevitable purpose. It's awful. Everything is awful. I just need to see Fang. I need to know if... I shudder. Naser. Naomi. Faces I don't even recognize. I'm so sorry. I should have done something more. I should have listened to Fang. It should have been... Dr. Kranz returns. Surprisingly, he has a team with him. Several dinos and clean scrubs come in with a small cart holding some kind of box. A first aid kit looking thing, but there's also a collection of tubes and some more weird things I can't quite make out. The doctor comes to my side and unbuckles the first latch on my chest. Once the second is free, I can pull free slightly. Mr. Mouse, I'm thankful that you seem to be lucid and in control of your faculties. How do you feel at the moment? Fine, Doc? I look around at the other dinos, but who are they? Hard lines in his face. The old medical professional leans in with a soft voice. These are the SAFE team staff. Every one of them is a consummate professional, and they are all people I trust. You can trust them as well. Okay, what's going on? They look safe, I guess? His silence makes my skin itch. One hand rests on my shoulder in an assuring squeeze. The voice he uses is impossibly soft. Anon, he intones, is as if off the script. You are being accused of rape against Lucy Aaron. What? I look at him and instantly squeeze his shoulder with both arms. What the fuck are you talking about? I would never. Anon, he replies, still impossibly calm. You need to remain calm. How? Some fucking dino in scrubs approaches, but the doc whips a hand out. Because I don't think you did, Anon. I stare at him, hyperventilating. Slowly I release his shoulders. Lucy? Fang. I interrupted with a manic edge. Fang, he replies in a small nod. Her parents are accusing you of rape and looking to press charges. But they just need to talk to Fang. I almost feel myself scream. We just had sex! Doc's voice holds me steady in what feels like a hurricane of emotion. Anon, that's what the team is here for. When she was brought in, we gave her a full examination. We found evidence of your coitus together, but because Fang is not available to give her testimony to the contrary, you're being accused by her parents. The next sentence blows me over, almost as powerfully as the gunshot to my leg. And from what you just told me, I think Fang Aaron raped you. The sexual assault forensics exam team were indeed professionals. Dr. Kranz helped convince me to collect evidence for my case against the Aaron's accusations. I felt numb as I responded to the requests. My shirt was removed to collect samples from the scratch marks of last night. One bite mark, evidence of bruising, any samples of her hair that lingered. When I had to remove my pants, my underwear, I trembled and begged not to. It was too much. That was too invasive. Doc's kind yet sturdy words convinced me otherwise. I hate what they did to me. After a fucking hour and a half, they finish. Nothing in me allows me to look as they finally retreat from the room. Dr. Kranz sits beside me in a chair. His eyes are calm. But it's all business now. Fucker. I don't even know what to feel around him now. Mr. Mouse, thank you for complying. It is never easy to be subjected to a safe exam. I wonder fucking why. I growled. God, I have got to turn away from him. I went through all of this shit, all of that exam, and he has the gall to congratulate me. He has no idea what I've been through, what we have been through. A silent sigh echoes from behind me. I see. Would you like to see Fang then? I look around. What, she's awake? I didn't say awake. He stands from his stool. But you held up your end of our agreement, and now I'm holding up mine. I believe seeing them will be beneficial for your treatment. I consider him. After a second, I nod. In moments, an orderly comes to whisk me away from my bed. At least having wheels on this thing means I can get around the hospital as need be. More importantly, it means I can go see Fang. We can finally talk. I can get answers. And we can get through this together. I love you, Fang. So they're in a coma? I'm afraid so. And severe cranial trauma? He nods silently. It doesn't look good for Anon. She's unlikely to recover, much less wake up. We're poised in front of an observation window. I look into the room of one Fang Lucy Aaron, the love of my life, the greatest gift and blessing to happen to me, someone who actually gave a shit about me, and she's hooked up to dozens of machines, so many machines and tubes. Her eyes are shut and she rests, motionless. Contrast against how I last saw her. It's a hauntingly peaceful sight. No stress, no fear, just serenity that I don't think I've ever seen on her face before. It's also too much for me to bear, and I just have to turn away after only a few moments. I'll never hear her speak again, never see her sing. I'll miss you, Dweeb. This isn't real. This can't be real. Fang, she wouldn't do any of this. She wouldn't be comatose. Nothing. Nothing of this. Nothing here is actually happening. Anon? Yeah, I hit my head. That's it. Fang didn't shoot anybody. Maybe they fired blanks. We aren't in the hospital. Anon? We're okay. She'll be right here when I wake up. She didn't Anon! This isn't real. 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 It's real. Oh my fucking God. Why? My voice is a pathetic tremble. Why? Dr. Kranz is beside me, looking over with his harsh eyes. Tears blind me from seeing any more of that as I hunch forward, covering my shame with both hands. My sweet tooth. She's gone. I can't see her smile. I can't hear her laugh anymore. I won't be able to help her when she cries, like I should have originally. I had all those opportunities, and now I can't get them back. I wasted everything. Everything. I'm so sorry, Fang. I cry, my voice hoarse again. I'm so sorry. Words fail as I wail. All I know is a hand is on my shoulder. All I feel is complete emptiness. Minutes pass by as I continue to cry. When I have no tears left to shed, I start to whimper. The agony I feel in my leg is nothing compared to what I ache for, an unbearable yearning for anything from Fang. Dear God, I would just kill to see her move a finger. Fuck. Anon, a voice calls to me. Kranz holds me by the shoulder, tighter now. Listen to me. You have to listen. I can't. I whisper. It hurts too much to talk. Try, please. The compassion in his voice gets me to look up, my eyes burning from the consistent stream of tears. Listen, there's something else we need to discuss. I managed to wipe my eyes and focus my attention on him. Because of what happened, I need you to understand something. He breathes deep, steadying himself for what he's about to say. There is a chance that what happened between you and Fang could result in a pregnancy. What? This situation is unlike anything I've seen before, he mutters while looking between me and what is now Fang. The next few weeks will be a challenge, but right now you need to start the process to provide evidence against those allegations we discussed earlier. His eyes find me, gently trying to encourage me. Beyond that, you'll have to wait now and see what happens next regarding Fang. What she did, don't call it what you said before. I cut him off with a whisper. Please. His face scrunches tight. I understand. Well, the facts remain. Due to what happened that night, there is a chance of pregnancy resulting. If that happens, you'll need to find out what you need to do next, because Fang is unable to communicate. Any argument for terminating the pregnancy is not available. What? I'm starting to feel dizzy from this. Doc, what the hell do you mean? Any pregnancy that takes place would have to be allowed to progress. He states gravely. The patient is unavailable to consent in termination. In that case, well, nature will be allowed to run its course. Given her condition, though, there's a chance such a pregnancy being successfully carried to term would seem unlikely. Stop, wait. Both hands cover my face as consider. Just hold on. He waits, allowing me to collect myself. A minute passes as things progress, so I start slowly. If she's pregnant, I'll be a father? Potentially, yes. What the fuck does that mean, then? Anger flares out of him. Doc, you just said all that other shit. Anon? He snaps at me. It makes me flinch. Both eyes close as he reins in his temper. Look, as a medical professional, I cannot tell you what to do in whatever course or choice you decide to make in the near future. I can only advise you on such legal matters. Deep sigh rattles within, and I believe you need to take a long, hard look if you wish to keep any child from this. Or surrender them to adoption. Before I can get into that idea alone, he holds up one hand. Because the only other option at this moment is to forfeit your choice entirely and let the Aarons handle the child. What the fuck? Wait, Fang's parents? The same ones who accused me of raping... sleeping with their daughter? The goddamn animals that made Fang like this? That ignored all the warning signs? The ones who put all that shit on Fang, who never listened and made her the way she was towards the end. I'm not so different from them, though, am I? Through that maelstrom of thought, I find my voice again. I have a lot to think about. You do. He waits for me to respond. The lack of it does a little to buoy either of our spirits. We should return you to your room for now. You... He sighs. You will have plenty of time to think as you recover in the hospital. I nod, weary to the bone. My orderly pushes me back to my fluffy prison of a room that I was in before. Now my room for the near future. Beat Skin Row, I suppose. Now I'll possibly have something to fight for. A new person to fight for. The pit in my stomach threatens to implode upon itself and take me with it when I consider that I traded Fang in for some unknown reason. For my daughter, my son, one of those. I hate this. I hate my life so much. Why do I have to do it? I just wanted that feathery dork I fell in love with. I want the girl who made me feel like I was actually someone. Even if I fucked everything up. Even if I pushed her to the edge just like everything else. Even after she used me. Oh, God. Hot tears find their way back. Fang used me. She used me because... Why? Because why? Why am I still here? Why did she jump? Don't leave me alone. We loved each other. I loved her. Did she love me? Trish was right. She was so fucking right. I hope the pregnancy fails. It's been 7 days. 7 days of monotony, diagnosis, prognosis, stitches, surgery, and all the other shit that goes on with the monotonous day-to-day hospital life. I've been given a small medicine ball to do hand exercises with. I'm supposed to be on a strict rest for this gunshot wound, but I still need to get some exercise to make sure my body doesn't start to atrophy. There's a lot of silence and quiet time, too. I try not to think of her. Looking down out of my window, I see the usual sea of parasites, reporters, journalists, and paparazzi doing their damn best to get inside and get pictures of me and Fang. Those goddamn assholes. All they want is a single person to blame everything on. All these deaths. They say it's all her fault. Every single... A therapist from the hospital says it's better to try and avoid getting angry. Process it. Just process it. Don't throw it away. Try to think of how it happened, not the why. My silent centering of myself is broken to 1,000 pieces as the door to my room opens. I turn, and I'm greeted by death. Ripley Aaron stands in the doorway. Every inch of him radiates a singular message. Murder. His talons are so tightly clenched that blood is dripping from them. It's almost an unbroken stream of deep crimson. Teeth flash in a beak that promises me nothing but death. His eyes are the complete opposite of mine. Fury, laugh, hatred. You! He hisses as he moves inside and takes several stomping steps towards me. Do you have any fucking idea what you've done? He roars. When I don't have a reply in my frozen terror, he stomps forward again. Look at them! One talon flings blood in a wide arc as he points to the field of news personnel below. I flinch. I hate the sight of it nowadays. Even when I had my blood work done yesterday, I couldn't bear the sight. I fucking hate the color. And God, the stench. Those fucking mongrels! Unrelenting! Harassing me and my wife all hours of the day! His voice is vicious. All because you lied. You say that Lucy defiled you, touched you. Veins start to throb in his head. My daughter wouldn't fuck some skinny fuck like you! Fang? Lucy! God, how do I even get a word in with this monster? Fang, this is what you had to deal with every day. Lucy, I tentatively say. I loved her. Then why didn't you do anything, you miserable fuck? Ripley's violence seems barely in restraint, his voice pitched low in accusation. All this time you were around, and you didn't hear anything? See or think you should have done something about. As I try to think on what to say, the panic closing my throat, I notice another figure. The tiny Terra woman was by Ripley, a half step behind. Her hair was ruffled. Her wings looked completely disheveled. Somehow it made complete sense that Fang's mother would look like this, so worn and wrung out. Where Ripley was all spitfire and fury, she was in mourning. I could see in her eyes. I saw the same dim light I recognized in my reflection, but hers was so much worse. Nazar was dead. Fang might as well be. Both of her children gone, their lives, their son and daughter, both snuffed out on a single day. And I'm the one that lived. Somehow I'm the lucky one that got away and managed to come out on top of a pile of bodies. Nazar was going somewhere. He would have been someone. Undoubtedly some kind of doctor or something noble. Naomi was a bitch at the end, but she didn't deserve a hole in her face. And all those others whose names I never bothered to learn. Selfish waste that I was. With whole futures ahead of them. Now lives cut short. Parents and families left behind, grieving their loss. Yet I lived. And the best I'd be doing was probably ending up on some fucking ship in the middle of the ocean, floating around doing God knows what. Hopefully dead at 30 from a missile, if not sooner. I don't know, I finally whisper out. I really don't. No one did. Huge Terramos flex and flinch at my unsatisfying answer. Really? Well, now everyone knows. Without a preamble, he makes his way over with a newspaper as he pulls from his wife's numb hands. It flies into my chest as I try to defend myself from the paper missile. When it bounces, I see the headline. One that makes my heart monitor start to steadily increasing beeps. School shooter kept alive on taxpayer money. Pregnant with rape baby. What the fuck? No, that's not how it happened. It's not true. Who did that? Who released this fucking story? My son is dead. Ripley growls, thundering steps slam on the linoleum tiles with the dread of promised death. My daughter is comatose, and you... He unfurls his lone talon at me. You raped her, knocked her up, and caused her to go insane and shoot all those kids. That's not how it happened, the match replied. That's not right. You did. His eyes narrowed to pinpricks. Lucy would never. She did. My scream is tiny as new tears start to form. The day after prom, that night, she held me down and she used me. Shivers start to dance up and down my arms. The heartbeat monitor is starting to blip harder and harder in a higher tempo. Where the hell are the nurses? Where's Doc? I can't keep up with this. Somehow I managed to scream, Lucy raped me! I have the scratches, bruises, and bite marks to prove it. She was so strong. I shudder. Oh God, she was supposed to love me. The doors open further as the nurse steps in. She gasps as she sees who my guests are. Lightning strikes of green by her side, announces Dr. Kranz's arrival. What the hell is going on here? Why is my patient being disturbed? We have business with Commissioner Aaron. Doc slides to the front, a deep snarl on his face. You will not do this to Mr. Mouse. He is a patient here, and you are a guest. My daughter is in this wing, Ripley growls back. As a patient, as is Mr. Mouse. The small compy glares back with heated eyes. If you will not excuse yourself from abusing him, you will be forced to leave. This monkey bastard raped my daughter. I didn't. God, everything's too loud. Shut up! A vein in Ripley's head starts to bulge even harder. I've lost both of my children because of your pathetic ass, and I'll rot in hell before you get your hands on my grandchild. No, he fucking won't. If that kid is the last connection I have to Fang, he won't be able to stop me. If I'm a father, I'll be a goddamn better one than you were to Fang. I hear her gasp from the smaller woman as her eyes fly open. Ripley's eyes snap to me with shock. Trembling rage colors his entire face. Shit. Time stands still. Ripley hasn't moved close to me. He hasn't even flexed a muscle at me. He's standing there, still as death. Only small red drips from his bloody talons hitting the floor indicate any semblance of life within him. Then I noticed. Ripley's face starts to go slacker. More appropriately, half it does. God in heaven, Doc whispers. He snaps at the nurse by the door immediately. Code stroke! Code stroke! Clear the door! What? As if to accentuate the declaration, Ripley slowly starts to fumble back before landing on his ass. His wife screams immediately, eyes wild with panic as her wings snap out. She starts crying out his name, repeating over and over in rapid hysteria while rushing to him. Doc leaves me in a heartbeat to attend to the larger man. Everything seems to blur together in a horrifying, prolonged moment. The medical team rushing in like with a gurney. Samantha Aaron being forcibly held back as she desperately fought to reach her husband. Ripley Aaron being lifted with the help of several people. And when they roll out, the blonde-headed mess of hair of a wife rushes after. Silence once more. With what little I'd eaten for breakfast coming rushing back up not long after. Ripley Aaron had a hemorrhaging stroke. Dr. Kranz quietly let me know after a few tense hours. It seems there was an underlying condition that hadn't been caught till our shouting match led to a burst of a weakened blood vessel in his head. There is confidence he will recover. There is no confidence he will ever be the same. Being given this news, it dawns on me that I am truly alone in all this. No matter what I do, no matter what I say, I only seem to bring misery. I'm bringing this family to their doom the longer I'm here. Everyone would really be better off if I just bled out on that roof. The daunting cry that Mrs. Aaron let out when Ripley fell, it triggered the memory of that day, right when Fank jumped through the hole in the rooftop fence. I held my own scream of agony and the despondent wails. My mind wanders, imagining what she must have felt that day, going about her morning routine, blissfully unaware of the immense suffering about to unfold. The only clue would have been Fang's absence, if she even noticed. Making breakfast, seeing Nazer normal and alive for the last time. Maybe she even gave him a hug, told him she loved him. Maybe she was worried about Fang, asked Nazer to check on her. Maybe she kissed Ripley goodbye, held him tightly in her arms. Maybe she thought about what to do next after graduation, the next steps her family would take for the future. Deprived of her children now, potentially her husband. Forced to watch his suffering known, she will be his caretaker for whatever state he recovers to. Pain lances through me at the thought of it all. She didn't deserve any of this. All of us let Fang down. I don't doubt she had some small part of it as well, but you see your family crumble apart within days. This was punishment beyond the pale. I might be a father soon, a parent. Will I have to live her life? I've already had the most important person in my life ripped away from me, and soon she'll be truly gone forever. Can I get a chance to make up for everything with the child we unwillingly brought into this world? Would that be a comfort to her, the grieving mother? No, of course it won't. What the hell am I thinking? Samantha has no children left. Only the rape. God, no. That word flashes through my mind like a bullet, overwhelming my thoughts and causing me to clutch my gut with ease. Whatever. Whomever is born from me and Fang, I love them. They'll deserve that. They deserve the world. They deserve a life better than all this. A world that will love them no matter what. A father that can be there for them. Somebody who will listen to every worry, dispel any fear, and hear them when they need to speak. Fang deserved it. I'll make sure that our child gets all of that and more. I'm so sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Aaron. I stole your family's most beautiful soul. I didn't give your hardest workers fair consideration. Whatever comes next, I'll do my damnedest to make the best of this horrible mess. I have to. For Fang. Resolved, I straighten up and from my big position in bed. Nothing can be done now for the errands, but I'm gonna have to fight for my child, our child. No one would stop me from loving them, and Raptor Jesus, no one was going to. I'm gonna grab some water really quick. I'll be right on back. I love water. It's great. Can I get a head count on who's still here? Just a little head count. Hold on. I guess I can pull it up manually here. Alright, back to it. It's been around 4 months since the shooting. I was able to get a small job here on hospital grounds as a service worker, slaving away in the kitchen or working janitorial duty, hobbling around using my cane when need be. Now a permanent fixture in my life. Another lingering parting gift from Fang. It's an improvement over crutches, but it's still a constant reminder to that day. I'll get by. I have a child to look forward to. More appropriately, too. Hearing that Fang was pregnant with twins was enough to knock me off my only steady foot. God, everyone in this hospital was happy for me. There were several weeks where all I got were glares from the many residents. But once their story got around, people's tune changed. It was uneasy. I didn't think they knew what to say, so I just tried to be nice and cheery about it. Fang was still gone. Fuck. I miss her. My eyes burn as I scrubbed the baked-on food from another oven tray. Fang wasn't coming back. That's the truth I've come to terms with. I can't bring myself to pass judgment on a non-sentient person. The thing lying on that bed carrying my children was no longer Fang. That was the hardest concept I've ever had to force in my life. Force on myself. Debates surrounding the ethics of the situation were in a constant flux. Public opinion swinging wildly on the matter from what little I read. Online chat rooms and social media champions were all throwing in their useless 2 cents. But everybody around me knew what I was doing, who I was working for. Our 2 babies. 2. 1 boy, 1 girl. I swear to you, Fang, I'll give them every ounce of love they deserve. Everything. I'll tell them about your music. I'll giggle at their little voices. I'll hold them and rock them to sleep. Nothing will prevent me from showering them in the affection they need. I think I picked out the names recently. Amber, green, for her and for me, our eyes. I guess were the best things about us. That gets a chuckle out of me. Well, not the best. I was still Fang's beautiful wings, even in her current state. They never stopped being so gorgeous. They were reminiscent of her mothers. Sam, the woman who was doing her best to fight me for the custody of my children. The rape allegation against me quickly fell apart with all the evidence collected. I was asked if I wanted to press charges against Fang, but the mere thought made me sick, and I begged the investigators to drop the case, which, thank God, they did. No matter the truth, I'll never be innocent in Sam's eyes. She was fighting for me. She was fighting me for Ripley's sake as well as her children's. The giant terror never made another appearance after that fateful day. Last I heard, he was in constant need of assisted living now. His wife drew in all of his bitter resentment and aimed it at me. I ruined her family, and now I threaten the futures of her grandchildren. She was determined to make sure I was far away from them. Sorry, Samantha. That's not gonna happen. Amber and Green are my children. Maybe one day we can get past this. I'd like them to know their grandparents. Anna, you got Dr. Stevens here to see you. I look up from my task in the kitchen and see one of my coworkers pointing at the back of the line. I nod at him and hobble out with my cane. The staff were all glad to accommodate me. I even got a few nods when they saw the OBGYN chair there as well. Turns out dedicating yourself to her children's future really made you look like a good kind of guy in everybody's eyes. I greet the Parasaur medical head. Hey, Melissa. How are you? Gray hair bobs the slight nod, teeth flashing a gentle smile. I'm doing very well, Anon. You? Leg bothering you today? Nah, I'm all good. I smile and tap with my wooden companion. Here with news about the kids? Doing well? More tests to run? Of a sort. Stephanie nods to me while motioning to a table. I follow her. What she had to say next turned my guts. Green was having trouble with his heart. The OBGYN specialists in the area were consulted. They all agreed that his heart was having trouble properly developing. Some sort of congenital birth defect was causing worrying reads in his recent EKGs. They moved fast, sending Melissa to talk to me as soon as possible, let me know they were sent for a specialist, someone who was trained in fetal surgeries. Melissa held my hands on the table as she spoke it all so slowly for me to understand. But nothing got through. Green? My boy, he was sick? What happens next? God, is that my voice? So quiet. So cold. We have the surgery prepped for tonight. Our goal is to get in, operate, and leave the other fetus and the mother as unbothered as possible. We go in, do what we need to, and get out. Strength returns as I look up at her. Can they save him? She pauses. It'll be risky. Oh, no. Oh, God, no, please. My hand finds hers with renewed vigor. Please, Melissa, the twins are all I have. I can't lose them. I can't. Her hands grip mine again. I understand, Anon. We have a good team. Everyone knows what to do. Promise me. My pleading causes her to grimace. Please. Tears fill me. She closes hers. I can't promise you the results, but I promise you that we will do everything we can to ensure the best chance of success. We hold our hands for a few precious moments longer. Eventually I withdraw. Thank you, I whisper. I'll stick around through it all tonight. She nods once before standing up. If you wait in the common area, I'll come find you afterwards. Thank you, I repeat. Her departure leaves me empty. If Green, my boy... No, stop. Don't start. Don't even start, Anon. You have to be strong. Be there. Be strong. You have to have confidence. If you don't, how will you support your kids? The rest of the day passes by in a non-stop haze of fear and adrenaline. I don't see anyone I recognize on the teams, but I get a gentle nod here and there from the nurses in the know. I've learned more about the importance of community here than I ever did in high school. I would gladly go back to beat that into my past self if I ever got the chance. I failed everyone back in Volcano High, but I won't fail my family here. I wait in the common room. Nothing. More time passes. Evening crawling on the horizon. Time becomes a drudge. I stop looking at the clocks. I can't bear the waiting. Melissa finally comes out to find me in the waiting area. Her expression is stoic and professional. She sits down next to me, taking my hands in her own. My boy. I had to buy a tiny box today. Ever since Green passed 2 months ago, it was like Fang simply gave up. Maybe it was due to the coma. Maybe it was some unconscious instinctual understanding. Whatever the reason, since that day my sweet tooth has started to fade. Her biometrics have steadily declined, and that also meant worse for Amber. They were fighting. Both my angels, but it was a constant battle. And one that both of them were not going to survive. Then the 6-month ultrasound revealed that Amber's umbilical cord was wrapped around her throat. They operated quickly to untangle her, but by the time it was found, damage was likely already done. Doctors filtered it out in a constant cycle within Fang's room as they ran their tests and did the best physical therapy possible to keep the muscles healthy enough. But no matter the work done, Amber is going to be scarred by this. All of this. I'm told to expect complications with the birth, defects, disabilities, life-altering ones. I don't care anymore. I just want to hold my baby girl. I already miss my son I never got to hold. I miss Fang's voice. A violent twist to my lips threatens my composure as I hold up a hand to the observation window into Fang's room. Feathers have already fallen away from her wings, leaving them looking plucked and barren. Bone cuts through skin and muscle, her skeleton form looking even more dead than alive. Somehow, through it all, her hair has kept growing. I was able to get a locket of it, wrapped into a cord to keep with me. I'm gonna need it. I don't think she's gonna last much longer. Is this what I deserve? What she deserves? We were selfish kids, both of us, but this misery is also suffocating. I simply existed at this point. No real friends from outside work. A tiny apartment with enough room for me and Amber when she arrives. Those seem to be my only defining features at this point. A dead lover, a dead son, a precious daughter I pray makes it. If there is a God, they were a malicious and cruel thing. My silent vigil over my remaining loved ones is broken by the sound of heels and tile. They stop nearby, and I recognize a presence next to me. Sam. I get nothing back. Looking at her shows all I need to know. Like her daughter, feathers arranged into a disorganized mess around her wings. Features are now gauntly stretched across her skull. Scales tightly tensioned across the bone underneath. The closest thing to an enemy I've had through this. A constant looming presence so massive in my mind. And yet, she seems so much smaller than before. My feelings for her are strange. Almost alien. I never hated her for what she did. But I've also never pitied anyone as much as her. Alive? Her voice is a whisper. Yeah. She nods once. She's a fighter. It hurts to know we aren't talking about Fang. I'm dropping the custody battle. Well, that takes me a moment to register. What? She looks at me finally. You're getting full custody of Amber. Why? Because, she hisses at me, my family is dead. My daughter killed my son, my husband is withering away in assisted living, and my grandchildren are the fruits of a monster wearing my daughter's face. Rotten. Rage trembles within her, eliciting a small stream of tears. I can't provide for a child like Amber while I have Wrigley. I shake my head. Sam, she's gonna be... No. Simple word is a declaration of all lost hope Samantha Aaron embodies. No, my family is gone. Her eyes are completely empty. No more fight, no more hope, just a vow of weary endurance. You can have your child of sin. I'm leaving the city with Ripley, taking us somewhere far away, somewhere we can rest, far away from you and it. I'm going to be with my husband till his time comes. Her voice is a mutter not meant for me, and then I'll wait for mine. Nothing else is said between us. I hear the muffled ambience of the hospital around us, contrasting sharply with her deathly silence. As Sam leaves, I imagine I can see every ounce of strength left forcing her along. I want to hate her for giving up on Amber so easily, but I'm so tired. I can only hope she finds rest that she needs. Fang's delivery of Amber went very smoothly. Cesarean births are, by their very nature, quick. Since I've learned of Amber's pending disabilities, I've done my best to throw myself into studying, which in turn led me to a good nursing program. The hospital had an excellent work study here, where I could take classes and still be employed. It allowed me to build a better future for the two of us, and gave me more of an idea of how to help my daughter succeed. The day I held her, it was the most beautiful moment in the world. She was precious. Tiny hands, face scrunched up in a cry, wings shaking, trying their best as she tried her best to move. God, Fang, you would have loved her. I know it. Our daughter is simply perfect. I'll have to wait for a bit before we can run tests to determine what disabilities may manifest, but I'll be okay. We'll be okay. And nothing else matters but her. I have my daughter. She's alive and in my arms. She's safe now with me. She's perfect. And nothing else matters but her. Fang lasted 3 more months before finally slipping away. It's been a long year. Amber was diagnosed with multifocal dystonia, a muscle spasm disorder that leaves her with some mobility issues as her muscles contract, stiffen, and follow repetitive motions. It manifests primarily in her legs and arms. The health benefits I have will pay for her therapy and arm braces at least. But they won't pay for the tiny funeral I hold for her mother, my sweet tooth. Fang was cremated shortly after passing. Now I hold a tiny box with her remains. Amber rests in a sling in my chest, slumbering and twitching her little adorable self away. God, Fang, she's so precious. Thank you for this gift. We'll both miss you, sweet tooth. My lover's remains sit surprisingly light in my hands. It feels lonesome in a way. I didn't want to bury her in some maudlin graveyard. She deserves freedom, somewhere far away from all the attention, all the ridicule. Part of me feels guilty for denying her rest next to Nazar. I brought Amber to meet him once so far. I could imagine his goofy grin if he saw her. Hell, maybe we could have chatted about physical therapy. But that's not happening. No, instead I took both my loves up here to the bluffs today. It felt fitting. Somewhere high up and beautiful to send Fang off once and for all. Somewhere I can release her soul from its torment. Somewhere to let her spread her wings one last time. Look at that sun, sweet tooth. I smile a little as I gesture our daughter. God, is it beautiful. Chuckle lets out. I hope you and Green see it too. Oh man, sometimes it's just a little jostled to. Sometimes it still jostles me to think of him, but now I'd like to imagine that Green and Fang are together. While I get our daughter, Fang can take care of her son. No small part of me recognized Fang's faults nowadays. All that hatred, all that pain. She could have handled it better. We could have handled it better. Together, actually. At least, if I wasn't such a massive child like I was back then. Ripley and Sam suffered. I suffered. Nazar, Naomi, and all those kids suffered. Amber's gonna suffer for it too, once she's old enough. Over the past several months, I've had to wrestle with the idea of fate or karma. Was all this past year divine retribution? Was it all some sort of balancing cosmic scales? My complicit denial of Fang? Did she give her enough reason to tear all those lives apart? Did I deserve my son dying, taken away from me on the surgery table, dead before I could even hear him cry? Did I deserve my sweet tooth passing away in cold silence? Did I deserve Amber? I love you, Fang. Even after everything, I'll always love you. I press trembling lips to her one last time before I open the lid. Gray ash catches in the forceful winds of the bluff, spreading out in a whirl. They swirl about me as if in embrace, a last farewell. I can almost hear her giggle. I swear I can. My melancholy fades as she leaves me one last time. And finally, she is free. I'll miss you, Dweeb. I'll miss you, Fang. Amber starts mewling into my chest. Shh, I've got you, honey. I've got you. A smile managed to cut its way through my tears as I support my new reason for living. You've got me, Amber. Always. It's been a few years now. 5, I think. No, wait, that's how old Amber is. Stupid time, always passing in a straight line. We learned when she started to speak the full extent of her battle in the womb. Neurogenetic stuttering, be it a lack of oxygen at birth, the womb, or from a minor spinal damage she received when the umbilical cord wrapped around her neck. Whatever the cause, she developed a slight stutter that I was told would never go away. After a few years of study and practice at home, I specialized in behavioral nursing. Amber was my goddamn inspiration. She always tried, no matter the crutches she needed for her rebellious muscles, nor the difficult therapy to try and get her voice under her own control. My daughter was a warrior through and through, and I loved her every damn day. Rosa thinks much the same, I'm happy to admit. It was a new day in my life when we ran into the familiar Ankylosaur, years older, but just as bubbly as ever. She knew who Amber was in an instant. God damn it, Monk! Wait, that was a monk. That was Muggy. That was magic, man. She knew Amber was an instant. Treated her like any other child. That alone proved how much of an idiot I was all my life. I never gave her or Stella the consideration they deserved. They was good people. Better than I ever was. Self-hatred threatened to rise up at the thought of the old me, but I squashed it. Amber and I were making our way to service today to meet up with our friend. She was a good mentor to my daughter, and infinitely kind and patient. Amber always seemed to enjoy the service as well. More than once I found her looking excited at the mere mention of church again, or spending time with Rosa. You ready to get stepping, little angel? I hold out my knee to accentuate our multi-leg journey. Sure am, Daddy. Her smile is so brilliant as she leans into her arm braces. A small cross dangles in front of them. A gift from the lovely Latina woman. She stutters the word before trying again. Let's go. Absolutely precious. I chuckle as I walk us out on the apartment. We don't have to spend too much time on this walk, thankfully. The church Rosa brought us to join was only a few blocks away. Funny how the world works that way. Or maybe I guess this is his will. Me and the big man upstairs still have a lot of things to cover one day. But he still gave me my daughter. It's good enough for now. An impulse takes me after a block out of our journey. I scoop down and whisk my angel higher into the air. Her shrill giggles of glee giving me all the strength I need. Careful hands place her on my shoulder, while her arms find their anchoring spots around my head. Nostalgia covers me in a melancholy blanket that the wing hug she gives me. After a block or two of carrying Amber, she starts to fidget to get in a better position. I humor her, thankful that I don't need a cane and the only knee brace. Thank fuck the hospital got that recent new hire physical therapist. The man knew what he was doing when it came to years-old physical trauma. A living saint in his own right. However, trauma by another name decides to barrel into my life as someone I never thought I'd see again walks into view. Purple hair and a controlled bun, horns covered in golden chains, and all covered in a well-tailored suit. Trish looks like she was doing well for herself. A worm crawled in my gut at the sight of her. She, and her manipulation and treatment of Fang came to mind. The doxing event. Her unrelentingly toxic attitude. She sweat starts to form on my head where my daughter hangs on to me. My daughter. My light. I have to be calm for Amber, Anon. For Amber. Trish spots me. Purple eyes blink once, twice, before going white as saucers. Looks like this was an inevitability then. I wave at her as we approach. Trish? My voice is thankfully calm. No emotions bleeding through. You look well. She stares at me. My eyes glance upward. She stares hard at Amber. My daughter immediately listens and perks up. Hi! She waves one hand at the purple trike. Anon. Her voice is trembling softly. Who is this? I'm Amber. She starts to jostle slightly and demanded to be put down. I allow her to crawl off my shoulder and start with her braces. Trish instantly flinches at the sight. I feel a small ember of anger building in the campfire's intensity. Amber slurs briefly. Nice to meet you. Trish flicks her eyes to me, recognition clear in her. What is this thing? Trish, I snap. My eyes start to twitch. Her name is Amber. Hi. Amber starts with some shyness. Her own golden amber eyes cast down briefly. I'm Amber, but Daddy calls me his little angel. What the fuck? Trish takes a step back. Her face hardens slightly. She looks just like Fang. God damn it, Trish, you fucking bitch. Don't you dare treat my daughter like this. Amber is Fang's daughter. And mine. Amber immediately picks up. You do my mommy? No. Trish snaps. That's shit. Purple hands cover her mouth. Fang's dead. I saw it in the paper. Every part of me is starting to strain. I can see Amber starting to withdraw slightly from Trish. Trying her best to remain brave. Trish? Stop. You're scaring my daughter. I don't give a shit. He hisses at me. Take your fucking rape spawn and get out of my life. Amber blinks as if the pure hatred in Trish, backing away slowly as her legs start to shake. Stress always did that to her. She turns to face me. Daddy, what's rape spawn? Trish? All the anger in me somehow evens out. Disgust replaces it in full. I breathe out a deep sigh as I crouch down, placing one hand on my angel's shoulder. Looking back at the trike. How fucking dare you? At her silence, I shake my head. You haven't changed, you little monster. I'm not the one with the monster, you fucking... Trish cuts herself short and spits on the ground. Trembling shakes from her shoulders to tail as she turns on the heel without another word. Dismissal evident, she quickly leaves as she can, clicking away at those high heels of her. Fucking bitch. I can see Amber start to shiver more. It's not from her disease, it's emotional. Quiet sobs hiccup from her. She shakes. Daddy, am I a monster? No, honey, never. I take her into a hug, supporting her with every ounce of my strength. Never. Grief. No child should know colors or words. Oh, would mommy love me? She did. I know she did. Tears drown out the world from me again as I hold her close. You are so loved, Angel. Always. Her murmurs in my chest are indecipherable, yet I can feel a relief at hearing me. I'll always have you, Amby. Never doubt that. She giggles silently. Secret words, Daddy? I chuckle back. Secret words. My mumbling, at least, helped keep her spirits up when she heard them. Thank God that they were there nowadays. My love for her. Are you ready to see Mrs. Rose at church? Yeah. She sniffles. Her arms and legs briefly stop shaking enough for me to release her and let her rebalance on a single arm brace. I want to see everyone. I know, honey. I think they want to see you, too. On standing up, I hold my hand down. My cool little tarot hand, so similar to mother's, grasp mine. Lean on me, Amber. I'll be here for you. This better be Benny King. No, it's Bill Weathers. Anyway, that's Lean on Me. I did it all in one night. I did it. It's done. I stand at the top once more. And for a third time today, mind you, I will say, see you, Space Cowboy.